I guess I just dashboard. Okay, let me see what happens here.
I'm assuming that's you, the one person
Yeah.
that's in here.
Says it ended an hour ago.
Yeah, that was me, my task.
I know, but you'd think it would show the latest one, you know?
There's 11 people.
Oh, hello everyone.
Hi.
We're trying to figure out how to moderate the comments.
Sorry guys, this is our first live session, so we're still trying to figure this out.
I was hoping I could moderate from my laptop, but
Always
maybe I
good fun.
need to.
Let me see.
Maybe I need to be on it as well.
Maybe that's it. Maybe go to YouTube.
Yeah.
All right. Hello, Merry Christmas to everybody out there. Thank you so much for joining us. We're so excited that you guys took out some time from your lovely holidays and came to join us. If you bear with us for just a second, we're just trying to get things set up. That's why we jumped on a little early, but you know, best laid plans and all.
Oh, but I probably can't do it.
Oh.
Of course she is.
And Charlie's barking.
No idea what I'm doing. Just not.
All right. Well, let's see if I can find anything here. Home. That means we actually have to go off of the iPad. Fun so far, right?
Right? This is the sort of thing people sign up for, is to watch other people have technology issues.
Yeah, no kidding.
Gee, I don't miss this from my technical life at all.
Good morning from Seattle. Wow, you guys are up early. Hello, Seattle. And some UK people, that's great. Happy holidays to everybody. Let me try and read these ones from afar. Does anybody have any questions?
No idea.
South Africa, wow, hello.
Goodness me.
Oh, and there's an Ontario folks. Hey, Ontario. Charlotte, North Carolina. Everything's working great. Okay, good. Have you heard of the one? Oh, no. Okay, so can I see?
No idea what I'm doing. Oh, now I'm into shorts. Goodness me.
Kentucky. Hello, Kentucky.
Not to be confused with Kentucky, no. Okay.
How much does the Chateau differ from our Canadian life? Well, yeah, quite a bit, as you can well imagine. I mean, we loved Canada very much. We love Ontario very much, but
yeah.
The lifestyle is just so very different. The way that the French do everything here is a little different, frankly. You know, and it's one of the things that we like about it. There's a much more European lifestyle to it. It's
Sorry, guys, I need to attend to Charlie.
Oh, yeah, Charlie is up. You guys don't get to see Charlie too often. She's our older dog, and she's, you know, has a schedule, shall we say? So we just need to be aware when she gets up. It's time to get up. Okay, still working on picking up the questions from here. Hopefully we can do this a little quicker because I'm trying to read them off here, but it's a long way. Any updates on the barn? Yes. Well,
yes.
the barn, we have activated the contractors, so they They tell us that they're going to be here late February or March. They're waiting on an order of the tiles to come in before they can get started on it, but hopefully that'll be soon because the hole is getting bigger.
Yeah, it's not. We've had 2 straight months of rain, and that has not helped. It's scary back there right now. We're actually considering getting hard hats to go out and get the wood because we're really concerned about the rest of the roof now.
Yeah. I saw a question there about New Year's plans. We don't have any specific plans yet. We're going to start talking to some friends and see what they're up to, but nothing particular going on at the moment.
We've purposely taken a really quiet period right now because it was such a busy season
Thank you very much.
Really getting used to it. So
yeah,
we really purposely kept things very quiet for a couple of days, forcing ourselves to take some time off.
Yeah, I mean, we often say this, that between the two of us, we've got about 4 full-time jobs between supporting you lovely folks on the vlog and, you know, with my full-time job and obviously the Chateau, everything, it's crazy.
And then building a retreat business. Yeah.
Someone says you're loving your hair.
Oh, thank you. I have no option on my laptop, so I'm trying to figure out if I can join from my phone, and I'm having no luck.
Yeah, so back to the barn. So the barn will hopefully get done relatively quickly. From what I understand, they just basically need to lift all of the tiles off, rebuild the structure underneath, and then put the tiles back on. But that's not as easy as it sounds, I'm guessing. But we'll go through that process.
Yeah, so there's sort of like there's an understructure, all the wooden beams and whatnot. And then you lay the lattice work on top of that, and then you lay the tiles on top of that. And it's really some of that understructure that's really started to rot out, and that's what caused the collapse initially, and then we can see it happening in other areas as well. So
yeah, exactly. Yeah. Happy New Year's to you guys too, or happy Christmas to everybody there that's wishing us well. Thank you so much. I hope everybody had a really good Christmas day. We certainly did. Sarah, do you have any fun sewing projects planned in the near future?
Always. I always have a list of projects that I'm not getting to. I just finished a set of curtains for Stephen's office, actually. We did a heavy material with what they call an occultant de bleu, a heavyweight lining that's also thermal. So on the downside, it blocks out all the light. On the upside, it also blocks out all the drafts. So we just did that for Stephen. Literally today we started picking out the fabric for Venice costumes, if we make it to Venice, which is still an if, but we would maybe like to do that.
Hoping. Fingers crossed.
There's another, we bought fabric a while ago, back in the summer when, I don't know if you guys remember Willow, when she was here, we bought fabric for a tablecloth that I was going to do for the dining room table that I haven't finished yet.
It's very spring-like, so it can wait till spring.
Yeah, but if I don't do it now, it won't get done. And yeah, just a whole bunch of, I'd like to have some more costumes in the closet for people when they come to visit. So we had such an amazing time when the creators came this summer. But obviously the only costumes that were available were in my size, which isn't obviously going to work for everyone. So I'd love to have a variety of adjustable, maybe a little bit more lacing, because I tend to make stuff that fits me particularly, so I want to have adjustable ones in multiple sizes for people to have fun in. Yeah,
I'm seeing a number of questions there about what our DIY projects are coming up for 2024. We talked about this a couple of weeks ago, that bathrooms are going to be sort of a priority this year.
Yeah.
On our 2nd/3rd floor, depending on what part of the world you're in.
Third floor deuxième étage is what we were calling that. Yeah.
We need to put in a shower up there because that's where Sarah, myself, and our event runners stay whilst the guests are here for retreats. So that's a big one. That's important. We also want to make sure that the washrooms in the bedrooms are a little more plush and comfortable. The way we always put it is, the 5 rooms that we use for the retreats for our guests are all wonderful. They're comfortable. We've had no complaints, and we're just going to continue to add luxury as we go along.
Yeah.
You know, there's a couple of rooms that we'd like to put bathrooms in that we're hoping to do that we'll see.
Yeah.
Sorry, toilets in them, I should say, because 2 of the rooms do have shower rooms. So they got a shower and a sink. but they don't have toilets in them. So we're hoping that we can do that sometime in the near future as well. But yeah, we're talking to a plumber. Oh, sorry. The comments keep disappearing on me when I'm here. So
I wish there was a way you could do this.
I'm sure there's a way. We just need to figure it out. We'll do this better next time. Thanks, guys. Yeah, thanks for the compliments on the Chateau. We are. I mean, we're very happy that the Chateau is in as good a state as it is. As Sarah said, we've had months of rain, and it stayed really, really quite well. Actually, the basement hasn't had any water in it. I kept going up to the top floor, checking to see when in the absolute downpours, and no, it was dry, fortunately. Yeah. So yes, the barn has problems, but fortunately the Chateau is pretty solid. And considering how much flooding was happening in the valley, we're really happy that that's the case.
Can I recommend that if you have a particular pressing question that you want to make sure we get to, that you add it as a response to the post in the community tab. So go to the community tab on our channel where Stephen posted and said, hello, hopefully you had a wonderful Christmas day, we're going live, blah, blah, blah. If you post a comment there with your question, then I'll be able to read it on my laptop and we'll be able to respond to it better.
I did just see it.
Recommendation for now.
Yeah, I just saw another question though about travel plans for this year.
Yeah.
Yes, Venice is a hope. We're talking to a few people about going to Venice. But actually in 2 weeks' time, we're going to go to the UK. We're going to be in South Wales, in Swansea area, because my parents are traveling over from Canada. And it's my mother's birthday. So we're going to go over. Yeah, so we're going to celebrate birthday with my mother. And see all the rest of the family. It's been a while since we've really connected with everybody there. The majority of my family actually still lives in the UK, and particularly in South Wales. So it'll be great to connect with everybody again and see how they're doing. So we will be there for a week in 2 weeks' time, which is very exciting.
And we're also talking about going back to Canada at some point in 2024.
Yeah, maybe in the fall sometime, or late summer. Yeah. Obviously once all the retreats and things are done.
Yeah. Preferably not in the dead of winter either.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we'd love to come back. We haven't been back to Canada since we left, so that'll be
3 years. Yeah.
3 years, yeah. So it'd be nice. I feel a pull to come back just to see Canada again, have a little touchstone, and obviously see our families as well.
I was gonna say, I'd like to hug my siblings.
Yeah, that'd be good. So yeah, we're hoping to do that as well. And apart from that, travel-wise, who knows? Maybe Curtis will call us and say he's got another thing going to Egypt, but.
I'd like to do more local weekends around because we've got access to so much more of Europe. So I'd love to sneak in a weekend or two to go somewhere. Yeah.
Sorry, there was something there about what DIY skills, and I apologize, I missed that.
We've got just 2 or 3 comments that come up kind of on the bottom edge of our screen. So feel free to repost a couple of times and maybe we'll catch it. And they only come up for a few seconds and then they disappear. And that's our catch. Oh yeah, is there a side panel or something we can put up?
Oh. Yes, there is. Look at that.
Go.
Okay. Now we're cooking with gas. Okay. So hopefully that stays up a little longer. No, it disappears.
More
of course it disappears.
Disappear quickly. Yeah.
We're doing this on my iPad, so it's sort of a mobile site versus working on our computers. But
yeah, and again, feel free to reply to the comments on the post in the community.
Yeah.
And hopefully you can answer questions there.
But yeah, DIY skills, we're learning them.
Oh yeah.
as fast as we can. I mean, like things like the barn, for example, that we're gonna do. I know I will definitely be paying attention to see what kind of skills I can pick up and see whether I can get involved. And
I'm in. I'm in.
Okay.
Okay, it's let me in. This
Excellent.
Is good.
And of course, we're getting better at wallpapering. We've now wallpapered, as you've seen, we've wallpapered 2 rooms, so that's very exciting. We're hoping to do more and more of that. We have some decor things that we want to do in the house as well. But we don't know. like the thing is, you know, as we always say, we've got a million projects in our head, and we will get through them all. Bathrooms are a priority right now, I think, and then, you know, the grand salon is something that we're talking about doing at some point. I want to decorate my office a little bit because it's, quite frankly, I don't like the color in there. It's very, very
it's not very
beige.
inspirational.
And now that there's beautiful curtains in there, I'd like to do something more interesting with those. So.
Okay, so Bluebird asked what DIY skills are we proud of that we've learned since moving to France. So yeah, the wallpapering.
Wallpapering.
Yeah. I'd actually we'd owned a property in Toronto many years ago, and it was an older property, and we did a lot of DIY there.
Yeah.
But it was more structural, and we weren't as into wallpapering. It was mostly paint and plaster and lath and things like that. So we had that skill, but hadn't done any wallpapering, so that's been cool. Getting into curtain making.
I think one of the fun ones for me is, you know, the jeopardy that is trying to put something into a wall, a nail, a screw, you know, trying to put something up, because it really depends on which wall you stick it in. Sometimes it's just plaster, sometimes it's stone, sometimes it's who knows what, concrete, you know, but trying to figure out which plug goes with which screw into which wall has been entertaining, let me tell you.
Yeah. Matthew wanted to know what's the biggest challenge since moving. And I'd say it's probably one that we don't actually talk about on the blog very much, which is, if you've ever heard anything about French bureaucracy, it's probably not been a very positive thing they've said. It's the French bureaucracy is real. Yeah. And it's literally twice as bad as anything you've heard about it. Like, just getting anything done here is phenomenally time consuming and has some very interesting processes. It's all about processes, I'll give them that. The processes are there. You know, Napoleon, amongst all his faults, was really into processes and systems, and they've kept that going. But trying to get other things done. We've actually hired a secretary in the background for some of the things that I just get exhausted chasing. So there's some things that if you want something done, you have to chase it. So I just we've hired a secretary to just do the chasing, because I find it difficult to remember to do that in the daytime when we're running around doing Chateau things.
Right.
So. Yeah.
I will say one thing about the bureaucracy is Sarah's very right. It's very frustrating. It takes a long time. But one thing on a positive note is they don't tend to punish you for doing it wrong. They just basically, here, try again.
Yes.
And that is infinite. Try again. That can get frustrating, but it's less about, you know, oh, no, you didn't do that right. You can never do that ever.
Yeah.
You know?
It's the biggest joke is that, you know, with every French process becomes a list of documentation that you're meant to provide. And you know that you will provide every single document that is on that list, and then there will always be one more that you didn't provide that they need that is absolutely necessary that wasn't on the list. So you kind of have like a first dossier and a second dossier, and anyway. Yeah,
lots of paperwork.
There it is. Okay, so we were playing a little bingo before. What questions do we think we'd get? And Debbie has come in with when are the tiles going to be finished for the kitchen at Lalonde?
Yeah, and we get this a lot. And you know, it was such a joy for me to work on that project. Obviously, Lalonde has got a lot of priorities going on right now, and it's really, you know, it's obviously in their future, but they're working on a lot of things. Obviously, the chapel is certainly taking precedence at the moment, and then of course they've got the grand salon to work on. From our perspective, the tiles are done, they're approved, and when they're ready to go, I'm ready to go. So it's really in their court. We talk to them all the time. You know, we love those guys so much, and you know, the tiles are ready. So, you know, like as far as the graphics go, as soon as they need it to go to a printer or whoever is going to make the tiles, then I'm happy to do that. But really, at this stage, it's up to them, and I haven't had any communication from them as to when specifically they want to get going on it. I know there's a few changes they want to make in the kitchen eventually as well. So, you know,
I think the chapel and the other interior structural issues, and obviously the grand salon is a big priority for them. So I just don't think the kitchen is the top priority right now. Yeah, but there are some thoughts. We've talked about a couple of other things with you know, utilizing those graphics, but at this stage it's in their hands. So we'll see. What else have we got? No questions. Lots of compliments on our wallpapering, so thank you everyone.
You. We love that room. It's funny, since we've done that, particularly because the weather has gotten colder, it is so nice to be in that room in the morning, because the morning light comes up over the hill beside our property here, and once it hits that that window, it just lights up that room, and that wallpaper just feels warm and inviting and soft, and it's a really nice place to be. So yeah, we're loving it. The funny thing is, I was saying this the other day that my office, as I say, is very beige. The wallpaper in this room is the red with, it's got a lot of pattern to it, and it's nice, but it's somber. And then you go into the dining room and across into the cafe, as we're calling it, the Salle de Paz.
Oh, we need a name for that. Can you guys help us remember the name? Oh, I don't think we should call it the cafe. It confuses some people.
Yeah,
But
it isn't actually a cafe.
Pantry takes too long to say. And, yeah.
But it almost feels like, it gives me almost a sense of like, what was it? Wizard of Oz. When it goes from black and white to suddenly color. Mm-hmm. That's kind of what those rooms feel like to me now. It's like, oh, color, fresh, bright, exciting.
So Nancy asked, is it the same wallpaper Stephanie used in Beaumont's bathroom? Yes, it is, but it's in a different colorway.
Yeah.
So ours was more of the green tones, hers was more of the blue tones. And it was funny because we had both picked it and ordered it before either of us vlogged it. So we just kind of coincidentally picked the same wallpaper at the same time. So that was kind of cool.
Well, and
we don't mind that at all. I mean, wallpaper is not exactly exclusive, right?
Exactly. Yeah. It's beautiful wallpaper, and they are definitely different colorways. They have a pink field on which all of the graphics are put, and ours is green.
Hi to British Columbia. Hi, Linda.
Good
Colleen
morning.
suggests conservatory. I don't mind that. That's kind of good.
What, building a conservatory?
Calling that room the conservatory.
Oh, a conservatory, yeah. No, that's kind of nice,
yeah. It's raining in Goderich. Oh, Goderich, home of the occasional tornado. It's a beautiful downtown. If anybody has a chance to go to Goderich, it's a beautiful downtown, but they had a couple of bad windstorms go through there. They did a lot of damage. I hope it's doing better now.
And in fact, a few years ago, we actually spent New Year's Eve in Ben Miller, which is Ben Miller Inn, which is just outside of Goderich.
Excellent service.
Beautiful spot.
And how's the weather here? So I have been out for walks in the sunshine for 2 days in a row, and that makes me so happy. It's starting to clear off again, and we can get out, and it's getting back to normal Dordogne weather, which is lovely and sunny. And
it's about 12 degrees. Yeah. It's actually perfect for working outside. Yeah, Celsius. Perfect for working outside. I was out chopping wood earlier today, and it's just ideal for that. So hopefully, if it stays dry for a few more days, I'll be dry enough for me to actually start doing some yard work again. Because boy, do we ever need it. There's a lot to be done.
We got Steve a very big. I'm saying Steve. I mean reality. We got a leaf blower and a strimmer, but in reality, Steve and I both have indoor skills. Only Steve has the outdoor skills. I mean, I probably could, but
and you keep calling it a strimmer, and damn it, it is not a strimmer. It is a brush cutter. It is a big, powerful brush cutter. Anyway.
All right, I'm going to start calling it the déboussieuse, and then you're in trouble.
Déboussieuse. Yeah. There you go.
So we got him that. We got him the leaf blower the 2 days after it started raining, and then it didn't stop for 2 months.
Yeah, exactly. I've used the leaf blower twice, I think, since I got it. But it's there and ready for me.
Oh, garden plans, Elizabeth. Oh, garden plans.
Funny thing is, we actually have a new friend in the area that we were at dinner with them the other night. Lovely couple and their daughters, and the husband is actually a landscape architect. So we haven't engaged him, but it's someone that we might lean on or ask to come over and at least consult. Or we've got lots of ideas. I mean, admittedly, we're definitely brown thumbs or black thumbs or whatever it is. I would love to have a bit of a vegetable plot and maybe some orchard trees and things like that. We have a few, fruiting trees at the moment, as you guys know, with the fig one. And I'd like to get a few more of those, but...
Well, what we haven't talked about on the vlog yet, and we will in an upcoming vlog. So we've had visits from the lady who used to live here up until 1960, and we'll call her Madame B for now.
Yeah.
And she shared with us where the tennis court used to be. Mm-hmm. So there used to be a tennis court on the property, and now when we walk over there, we're like, oh yes, of course it is. But it's under a lot of bramble and a lot of grass and whatnot. And we're actually, if we can get much of the bathroom work done first, or depending on how many volunteers we get, I don't know.
Yeah.
We might do some clearing off of that area and create a little bit of a destination. It'll probably just be a seating area more than a garden setup,
Yeah.
but at least it'll be sort of in the nature,
Yeah.
as the French would say, à la nature. And
Yeah, and it'll have a lovely view of the
Yeah.
fields beyond that, where you know quite often you'll see animals out there. There's deer out there, there's boar out there, foxes, rabbits, you name it. So yeah, that's kind of the area that we're hoping to work on.
do we have an herb or kitchen garden there? So very just off the kitchen, off our mudroom, there is a garage right next to that, and there are little stairs that go up, and the top of the garage is where I hang the laundry to dry. And just along that edge of the stairs, we've got a little bit of herbs there. And again, being the brown thumbs that we are, thankfully the rosemary and thyme seem to be quite hardy, and they're doing fine.
We can't keep basil alive to save our lives.
We've
for
killed
some reason.
dozens of basil plants, just that they just won't survive.
Yeah.
It's also my thing where I know you're supposed to have the proper soil to put in the gardens, and you need to go out and get that and blah blah blah. I have this weird thing where we own 37 acres, and I have such a hard time paying for dirt when you own 37 acres. But it's not the right dirt.
But that being said, because we compost out back of our barn. We have a compost bin in our kitchen, and we take it out back there. And right now, I think if we start turning that over, because it's been a couple of years, there is some nice, rich, dark soil that's coming out of there that I'm hoping to start digging out this spring, and maybe we can make some up. We've had some ideas. There's some outside of the kitchen is where we park the car right now, and then the hill goes up from there, and there's sort of a 3-step.
Yeah, a tiered
situation, and we were thinking about sort of cutting into that and just creating a bit of a potager, sort of an herb garden there, essentially.
Yeah.
And one of these days, we'll get around to doing something like that. It would be great to have something like that for the kitchen, particularly just if there's small herbs or vegetables and things like that we could just pull.
Someone just asked if we had top tips for the first attempt at wallpapering.
Patience.
Also getting that first piece absolutely plumb.
Yeah.
To start in the middle and work out. Figure out in advance where things are likely to go off plumb, like in our case, corners are terrible.
Yeah. And
figure out how you're going to replumb before you get to that point, right? So just do that little bit of advanced planning. Okay, when it gets around here, it's going to start to go wonky, and how are you going to unwonk it, as it were?
Yeah, and frankly, we've used a couple of techniques for that, because the wallpaper we did in the dining room didn't have a pattern to it, so we were able to actually cut a plumb line and then start again. Obviously, with the wallpaper in the what are we calling it? Conservatory.
Yeah.
I like that.
That's sticky. I like it.
Yeah, that's a good one. Because it's a mural, we couldn't really do that. Otherwise, the mural would be offset. So we had to, have a little bit of a plan for that one. I am still, honestly, I don't know if you guys saw that video, but I did a plan on the computer with the actual strips, and I am still amazed that it was as accurate as it turned out. Like, it was literally to the right strip, accurate, and I could actually see it come together. I was shocked.
Mom has joined the chat.
Oh, hi Dee.
So Dee is here. If anyone wants to talk to Robert Phillips, that's her screen handle. So if anyone wants to say hi to Dee, go say nice things to Robert Phillips.
Yeah.
It's 11 a.m. in Texas. Hi, Texas.
Hey, Texas. Love Texas. That's where our chef's from.
Yep.
One of our chefs.
Any joint ventures with the town in the new year?
Well, we will be doing the exposition again in July. July.
Yeah.
We don't know what form that will take. Hopefully it'll be a week again. We will be working with obviously our friend Claude, who is he's our doorway to all of the artists in the area. He's a fantastic guy.
We've actually been talking with him about doing a kiln workshop, because he is an expert kiln builder.
Yeah.
And he often runs workshops over in the UK, and we were wondering if we can run one here that people could come to.
Yeah.
The mayor is also looking at rejigging some of the area right around his office, which is just 50 meters from us. I think maybe changing a bit of the way the parking lot and the drive-in works around there.
Not quite sure how he's going to pull that off yet, frankly, because it's quite a cliff. But
and I think at one of the town meetings we had first up, he was talking about moving the Monument aux Morts, the war memorial, up a little bit more to create more of an area where people could circulate around. But all of that butts up to our field where they ran the Brocont last year. So we kind of need to do that in collaboration, but we don't have a lot of details on that.
Yeah, I mean, we're always open to doing things with the town. You know, they come to us with some ideas, we come to them with ideas, and you know, particularly that plot of land that they utilize for several events throughout the year. You know, we'd like for that to be in use for the community. I mean, we have talked to them about a grandiose plan of making that sort of a park, if you will, that can be multi-use with, you know, trees and picnic tables and that sort of thing. It would still be our property, but we would essentially allow it to be used as a public space for the town. But it would require a little bit of work. It would require a new staircase, most likely coming up from the parking lot. So all these things take time, money, and an effort. So
and it's, you know, involves mayor's office, so there's a process and dossier and bureaucracy to get through. So it won't be fast.
But they're lovely people. We've met the council. We've met the mayor.
They're really nice.
They really are great. And they've been extremely welcoming to us, despite my horrible French.
I'm going to say this wrong, but Gunubi, South Africa? How did I do, Rhonda and Maxie? Hi, South Africa.
Hello, South
Say
Africa.
hi to Curtis for us. No, just kidding. He's in Italy. Just kidding.
Yeah, well, no, say hi to Isabel and Percy for us.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
Love the piano. What room was it in at Lalonde, and how did it get moved? Okay, so the piano that we have a long-term loan is Stephanie's sort of personal piano that she grew up and learned her music on. And it was sitting in the hallway in front of her suite of rooms on the second floor second floor premier etage, where all the guest bedrooms are. So it was sitting at the top of the stairs there on the cement, and they needed it out of the way because of the structural work that is going to go on above the grand salon to rejig that and make that secure again. And they basically couldn't have the piano there.
Yeah.
And since they do have the two other pianos, the one that you've seen all the beautiful concerts that Maria's done.
Yeah.
Maria, sorry. And
No,
so
I think there's only two. Wasn't there the one in the? Maybe it's two.
I think there was two. In addition to this one. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah. So
this needed to be out of the way, and we were looking for one anyways because we wanted to be able to run music retreats. So that worked out beautifully.
So we did hire a mover, professional piano movers. We did not try to do it ourselves.
Yeah, and again, that was something I handed off to our secretary who works just a few hours in the month. I was just like, can you go find someone and sort this out, because it's not every mover will move pianos. So that takes some extra work and extra chasing.
And for them, you know, they had to come down the stairs in Lalonde, you know, down the main stone staircase and into the van. So they did actually take the legs and the foot pedals off, and obviously the lid, and packaged it. It was in perfect condition when it came. Fortunately, it was a lot easier for them because they were able to just back the van right up to our entrance here, our double door entrance, and brought it straight in. So that
and
was
we've got a
relatively
stone
quick
floor,
one.
so you don't have to worry about damaging it.
Yeah. But they were awesome, and we're very excited to have it, despite the fact that neither of us can play piano.
Yeah.
But it's just nice to have that instrument here.
Don Spence asks, have you seen the Pathricks? From what I've seen, they've always been very helpful. So we have met Michael Pathrick, and he was delightful. He made you the most delicious birthday.
Fantastic birthday dinner.
Yes.
Yes.
So that was brilliant.
Beef Wellington.
We have
Brilliant
not
beef Wellington.
met the rest of the Pathricks. We've heard lots of great things. Of all the vlogs that we catch up on, I'm afraid theirs isn't one of them. No particular reason other than time.
Yeah.
We've heard nothing but good things, but we don't know them personally yet.
No, and I think they're quite a distance from here as well. So sort of dropping in on them for tea is not exactly an option.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean we're getting introduced slowly to all of the Chateau community, and we love them all. They're a great bunch, and we're really happy to be part of all of it.
Polarity Phoenix Maine asks, have you considered the use of permaculture techniques for some of your gardening and land use? Oh, those sound like big agriculture words that, again, brown thumbs. We're like, is the plant the right way up, and is it green when it's supposed to be green? That's about our level.
Yeah.
That said, we are talking to. There is a department within the Department of Dordogne. So there is a group, a ministry that is responsible for forestry and agriculture, and we are talking to them about what we need to do to properly maintain our land, because there are things that we need to do to keep it fire safe, and there's also options to sell out some harvested wood from the land. So we want to understand what our options are, so that we can make good, sustainable choices down the road. Also, what we are legally obligated to do. So that's again the thing the secretary has been chasing up for us, because the thing I had been chasing for about 2 years and never managed to connect with the guy. So.
And the Dordogne itself, the Department of the Dordogne has been making really, really strong efforts to try and reduce the fire risk here, because they had the really bad fires south of Bordeaux last summer, no, summer before last. And we could actually, one day, the wind had changed and the smoke actually came as far as here. We woke up in the morning when we could smell the forest fires. So the Dordogne has been, for the last few years, looking at all the woods in the area and sort of cutting all of the trees that are necessary to come down, whether they're old brush that needs to go away, or just to open up the woods so that there's space in order for firefighters to get into.
I'm hearing from people that we got volume issues.
Okay.
Would the mics work with this? Probably
yes,
not.
Actually they will.
Okay, let's try that.
Okay, give me 2 seconds.
We will try to get the mics going.
I can find them.
Lori, you wanted to know how far away we are from Lalonde. Typically Canadian, I will tell you it is 2.5 hours to door to door. I can't give that to you in kilometers or miles, just in time. So 2.5 hours, easy drive. And how far from Dan? I don't know. Someone asked if we're following Dan's progress. We are sort of intermittently, we're sort of where we can, we'll catch up a little bit here or there, and then of course when we see them, or talk to them, we'll ask how Dan's doing.
See if there we go. Is that better?
Testing 1, 2, 3.
Hopefully that works a little better.
Testing 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, we are following. Well, I probably follow Dan a little more than Sarah does.
Sounds much better now. Thank you, Bluebird.
His chateau is actually still probably about 2 hours away. So he's, if I remember correctly, he's south of Lalonde, but he's also a little further east than Lalonde. So yeah, it's about 2, maybe 2.5 hours away from us still.
Yay, everybody says it sounds much better. Thank you for letting us know, by the way.
No, it's good.
I will take off my beautiful silver chain, though, so it's not making...
Rattling?
Yeah.
Okay.
This is one that was made for me by Julie, who's running our silversmith retreat. So
yeah,
we're very pretty.
So excited. I am so excited about the silversmith retreat, quite frankly. I can't wait for that one.
Yeah.
Because I'm hoping to learn some skills.
Apparently we've blown out Lori's speakers now. She had it turned way up, so sorry about that,
sorry,
Lori. No, just kidding.
We're helping. We're trying to help.
Okay, so Chateau Joe asked, if there was a Real Housewives of the Chateau verse, what would be your tagline? I honestly can't answer that because I've never watched a Real Housewives thing.
Yeah,
that
neither have I.
Programming is not really my go-to. So I honestly, I have no idea what a tagline would be for that. You probably just put me down as the boring one. I don't know.
Yeah,
not rocking the boat.
I'm afraid, yeah, not. Yeah. I'm drawing a blank as well. Sorry about that.
Yeah. Okay. So now the sound's better. So Stephanie wants to know if we're seeking some work-live volunteers that are gardeners. So for this season, really, we're just focusing on the bathroom. Uh-huh. So that's basically where our money and time and effort is going to go.
Yeah.
I could see next season And the trick is we have to do this in between the retreat seasons, obviously, because we rent out all of the bedrooms for the retreats. So it's really what we can do over the winter season, which I know isn't necessarily ideal for gardening. Certain things have to be done at certain times. Don't ask me what. So yes, there would be that opportunity probably come next year or the year after.
Yeah.
And maybe after discussions with our new neighbor, the agricultural gardener. No, that's not right. Architectural. There you are. This is how much I know about gardening. Yes.
Landscape architect. I mean, as far as volunteers go, we do have some people coming in the next couple of months, to sort of help out. Those are through, is it Trust? No, it's not Trusted House Sitter. It's Workaways, or both.
Well, we do Trusted House Sitters when we're traveling and we want someone to look after the dogs.
Yeah, and then we do Workawayers for.
Yeah, we're experimenting with Workawayers again. Yeah.
We've had great results with the people that we've had so far. I mean, you've seen our volunteers, and there's lots of tasks to be done. So, but sadly, because as Sarah said, the rooms that we have, we're not in a position right now to have people working through the retreat season. If we get to the second floor, which is our long-term plan, where we can reconfigure all the space up there, so that's where the cinema is, if you've seen the earlier vlogs, and there's 6 bedrooms up there as well, and we want to reconfigure that whole space so that we'll have our own personal apartments up there, and then we'll have space for chefs if we have them coming, obviously the people who are running the retreats, and then a couple of extra spaces for volunteers to join us. So that's down the road, but at the moment we unfortunately just don't have the space to be able to do both retreats and volunteers at the same time.
So Lori wanted to know, when is retreat season, and it is basically April until October, and then we also run the writing residency in November to correspond with National Novel Writing Month, NaNoWriMo, which is always in November each year. So that's basically, so it's basically April to November.
And it's coming along really well. Sarah, I will give her all the credit in the world, has done yeoman's work on the retreats for 2024. We've got 5 live.
Yep. And then Elska's is coming up soon. So if you want, if you want to get on the wait list for that, you have to be on the newsletter, all the usual.
Yep. And a couple more that we're talking to. So it should be a fun year.
Elizabeth wanted to know if I could do a vlog in curtain making. There's a lot better YouTube videos out there than the one that I would do. I would just be like, don't mess it up. All I've done right now is the pencil pleats, and then I did a little bit of trumpet pleating at the top with Steve's latest one. But basically, I used other YouTube videos to make sure I had that right. So I could do one, but it wouldn't be the
go on,
best.
do it anyway.
Okay, all right. Maybe that's some extra content sometime.
Maybe it'll be like what is the cake decorating one?
Nailed it.
Nailed it. Yeah.
Oh, that would be like your Napoleon jacket. Whoa, there was work. Do we have, so a YouTube viewer wants to know if we have regular jobs online as well. So yes, Stephen has a full-time job as a graphic designer with a company.
Well, I take contracts in Canada, so I work mostly with.
Well, you take contracts worldwide.
Yeah, exactly. But I work mostly with one company based in Toronto, and I do work pretty much 5 days a week in regular working hours in Toronto, which means I'm working between 3 p.m. to 11 p.m. here in France, and that's the Toronto 9 to 5 working hours.
And then you have freelance clients on top of that.
Yeah, won't get into too deep, but in 2015, I was a creative director with a firm in Toronto. I left that to go freelance. I got a lovely roster of clientele from that, and so I still work with a number of clients, mostly Canadian based as well. But I've worked on a couple of things in Italy and a couple of friends in France as well. So
yeah. Plus his full-time job managing all the outdoor stuff.
And we both work on the vlog.
And then we both work on the vlog, and then we both work on, Stephen obviously does all the graphics for the retreats and a lot of support work around that too. Yeah. So,
but Sarah's full-time job is honestly
building the retreat business.
So, it is a full-time job, I take no.
I do most of the vlog editing, but not all.
Yeah.
and then try to run the admin for everything else so that you can do your other full-time jobs.
Yes.
Yeah.
So as I say, we got about 4 full-time jobs between the two of us.
Which is why we don't have time for the Real Housewives.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're being very indulgent this week because I'm not actually working on anything this week officially, and just having evenings back is very exciting. So
yeah,
we
forced
are,
ourselves to sit down for a couple of days.
Yeah, we're trying to relax.
Nancy wants to know, what are the best and worst surprises the Chateau has sprung on you since moving in? I don't know. The best surprise is just how good it is here. Like, we knew it was good, but it's so good. And when you walk out and like the golden hour, when you walk out in the afternoons, particularly over the winter season, the golden hour is just stunning. And then the summers are just unbelievably gorgeous. And just being so close to the art and history and everything is good, but it's just surprisingly, we knew it was going to be good, and it's surprising how good it is.
Yeah.
Just love that. The worst one, I would say, probably the day we had the indoor water feature. That did not make it on the vlog. There was no time for vlogging.
That was kind of, so brief history on that one. As I said, on the second floor, we there is a toilet and basin up there, and I wanted to make sure that worked because, as I said, that's where we go when we're running retreats. And I found the valve to turn the water on for that floor. Hadn't been on for, I'm guessing, 3 years, 2 years, 3 years, through COVID and whatnot. So turned it on. Everything seemed to be fine. The water heater that was up there started to be, was filling. And then I saw a couple of small drips. I thought, okay, let's turn it off and just, deal with those. So I came back down to where that valve was. I shut it off and the valve snapped. And then I hear the rain. And what had happened is there was a release valve on the second floor had popped off, and the water was free flowing out. And because we don't have subfloors or anything in here, it's literally planks on top of planks on top of
a stone floor.
Well, so the water was cascading through the floor on the second floor, down to the mezzanine level, going through the mezzanine floor and dropping all the way down to the grand salon. And it was literally a waterfall. And there was a lot of, I ran up and down those tower stairs at least a dozen times that day. all the way up the tower, because the only way up to the third floor, deuxième étage, is through the tower, and then across the floor and like all the way down to the basement to get to the shut off and back up and down and back up and down. But really, I mean, hats off to Ed for coming over and helping me out with that one, because thank goodness, we have some nice stuff. We have some nice friends about 6 kilometers away, and he knows his thing. Thank goodness, that really saved our bacon. So that was not a good surprise. That was not a good one. That was not a good one. No, exactly. But that being said, we haven't had any massive surprises as far as electrical problems or plumbing problems beyond, self-inflicted ones. Yeah, exactly. Which has been a bit of a surprise, quite frankly. I mean, you may have seen a few weeks ago, or a couple months ago, I guess now, we had a rave here, or at least the students from a local college had a rave here. And the fact that we didn't blow any fuses, and the windows all stayed intact with heavy bass rattling through the whole place. But credit the students; they checked that ahead of time. They did. They were They went through and they were like, "Okay, let's look at the electricals and see where our load is going to be and where the DJ is going to plug in and how that's going to work." And they were good. They were fantastic. But the fact that the house survived a rave without any sort of major catastrophe, I was pretty impressed with, to be perfectly honest. So. Bluebird wanted to know, I have read that there are 45,000 chateaux in France. How many did you view before buying, and how many do you guess are on the market at any one time? I have no idea how many are on the market, because that's not something we keep a track on. And also, ones that are on the market might not be listed. So you can, if you see a heritage property in an area that you like, it's always worth talking to the notaire. Yeah. The local, basically it's a cross between like a lawyer and a chartered accountant. It's just, they run all property transactions, have to go through a notaire. And they will know of properties that are for sale that are unlisted. So you can always go talk to them, because it might be that the local chateau owner or manoir owner doesn't really want to share that it's for sale, but would like to sell. It's a French thing.
So you can always ask there. So there's more than is actually listed. We looked at 4 more in person before we looked at this one. We looked at one down in Toulouse that was huge. It took us 3 hours to walk around that property, and we did not double back. It was absolutely monstrous, and that really helped us make the decision that, yeah, we don't want one that big. We looked at one that was about 15 minutes, actually about 5 minutes from here, that was an old Templar building. It was very, very cool, but we had a little bit of a hard time. It didn't have any outdoor land, I guess rather than indoor land. Yeah, it didn't have any land to go with it. It was just a small garden. But the building itself was cool and lots of reconfiguration possibilities. We looked at another one that was about 15 minutes away that actually led to us finding this one that ticked all the. Sorry,
I have to go rescue our dog.
Oh,
I'll be
okay.
back in a minute.
Steve's going rescuing dog. Remember, your mic's on.
No, my mic's on the camera.
Okay, all right. Yeah, so we looked at one about 15 minutes away, and that ticked all the boxes, but didn't really have that coup de coeur, that really tug at the heartstrings. And it was actually looking at comparables for that property was how we found this one. So, yeah. Did we make the right decision in moving to France? Well, Stephen can answer for himself. For me, yes, 100%. It's just the right fit and culture, and yeah, we love it. We miss our families, obviously, but we just love being here. How do we get any reno done? We don't even, yeah, I plan. All right. More questions? It's a lot of fun, just online shopping for Chateau, I have to say. I still do it just because it's so much fun. Fortunately, I haven't found one that I like better than this one. Do you feel that people are willing to attend events out in the country? Yes. We are struggling with figuring out how to advertise locally. There seems to be a strong dependence on fichier, on posters, on windows, and I haven't really. There's a couple of Facebook groups, but I really don't enjoy I don't enjoy Facebook at all. So it's a really struggle for me to get in there and get engaged with it. So I think there's more to be had, but we do find that the events we go to are very well attended. So the word does get out, sometimes word of mouth, sometimes online, sometimes through the posters. There's a little farm just 4 or 5 kilometers from here that runs basically dance nights. They have a little band come in and they run dances in the barn. And we've heard about that from 3 different people, word of mouth. We haven't been yet. We want to go this summer, but it just sounds like a good time and it just spreads through word of mouth. So there is, and the town fete that happens at the end of July. This is a commune of 500 people, but the one 2 years ago had 1,500 people attend just because it's got a good reputation. So people came out and had the nice meal and the dance. The music goes till 2 a.m. Off next to our wall. It's a good time. And yeah, so they are well attended. I don't know whether it's, the type of events that city folk enjoy as much, but we have a good time. So, yeah. So Mary Jane said, Sean of Sean's World, his son's a realtor and might be able to help. I don't have any context for that, Mary Jane. Oh, Nancy, how are my French skills doing? Well, I have been taking advantage of our sponsorships, which is nice. I'm finding italki very helpful, actually, for really specific tasks. I'll just go in and have a conversation with my instructor there. And I am getting better at having conversations with people. So a local friend of ours who has a beautiful farmstead over in a town a few kilometers away, she invited us over for her graduation party. And I was sitting there in a room full of French people, and I found myself being the one who was starting the conversations because there was a lot of sort of dead air. And so my French apparently was good enough to start a few conversation circles, and I was quite proud of that. I felt good that day. I find that when I'm trying to speak for the vlog, I sound so much different than when I'm just in the flow of it here. My French, when I'm trying to speak French for the vlog, just sounds awful, and I can hear it sounding awful as I'm saying it, and it sounds different than when I'm having conversations in real life, and I don't really know why. I think it's because I'm probably trying to switch from English to French, and once you're in the flow of another language, you can hit the accent a little better, but when you're just trying to flip-flop, you tend to stick in your primary language accent. It's my theory. I'm sticking to it. How do you get your newsletter? You can sign up for the newsletter on the front page of manorandmaker.com. Just scroll all the way to the bottom and it's there, or you can go to manormaker.com/newsletter. Cost nothing to sign up. I send out creative articles and advance notice of events that are coming up, and sometimes some insider info. So we've had a lot of press lately over in the Canadian market, and I've linked to a couple of those articles in the newsletter, but we haven't really talked about it much on the blog. Is there a lot of interest in English-speaking events? Probably not locally where we are. Anything local definitely is French hosted. There are pockets of English speakers, particularly in the Dordogne. This has a large population of UK expats here, so there are a lot of pockets of English-speaking events, but most of the stuff that you see advertised is French. Our retreats and a lot of retreats that we know in the area all run in English or offer a mix. Some are English, some are French, some are Dutch, to cater to those markets. Valerie wants to know if our chateau was lived in when you purchased it. Well, that's an interesting question.
Sorry, guys.
It's a little doggo.
So this is our little Charlie. This is our little girl. And she was halfway down the driveway, so.
And yes, she has skin conditions, and yes, she's 15 years old, and yes, we know, and we talk to the vet a lot, so yeah.
I'm just gonna put her down.
Yeah.
Sorry about that, guys.
So was there a lot of interest in English speaking events we talked about? Was the chateau lived in? It was lived in until about 1980. So it was lived in by a family up till 1960, and they sold to an architect, and the architect lived here until the 80s. And then it was passed on to one of their children, who formed a committee to take care of the chateau, but it wasn't really lived in full time until they sold to the previous owners until about 2007 or something like that. And that was a couple that was part English and part Reunion, which is a colony of France.
Yeah.
And they used it as a summer home. So they were only here for the month of August for the time that they owned it. So yes, partially lived in, but not fully occupied since the 80s, basically, which explains a lot of the decor. And we got off lucky in some of the choices they made.
Yeah. Sorry about that, guys.
Yeah.
It was a necessity to go out and get Charlie. Yeah. Poor thing's a little blind and deaf now, so she's wandering.
Apparently, I've influenced someone to buy another sewing machine. They all belong to me, so it's all right.
I think we're at 8.
Yes.
We'll keep a count.
Yeah, Lori, when you start thinking in French, you'll know you've crossed over. When I start dreaming in French, that's when I know I'm having a good day. Oh, thank you both for being so genuine. That's very kind.
Oh, appreciate that.
Yeah. Well, we were going to go until about 6:30, so we're getting close to that. Does anyone have any last-minute questions? I'm really pleased that everybody came out. I mean, I kind of expected that we'd be sitting over here drinking Baileys on our own, mostly. So,
did you talk
or Armagnac, or
that we're hoping to do this. So, did you talk about the membership?
I did not. No.
Do you want to talk about membership?
I don't know. I'm still very scared.
Sarah's very scared, so I'll talk about membership. Just so you guys know, we've decided we're going to start a membership program for the Chateau and for our vlog, similar to the Patreon system that Dan and Stephanie use. Basically, there's 3 tiers to it, and if you're interested at all, and obviously this isn't a heavy sell, check it out on our website. I think there's a membership tab now.
Yep.
Yeah, on our website, so manorandmaker.com. And check it out. Again, we're offering a few things. We're hoping to do a few more of these live sessions for our members going forward. And, there's a few perks and that sort of thing. So, if anybody's interested, please take a look at that. But yeah, we're very excited that people joined. This is sort of our test run to see whether people are actually interested in talking to us in person. And we're happy to do this. It's kind of fun to interact with our community, and without you guys, we wouldn't be as far ahead as we are. And we really appreciate you guys all, watching every week and and tuning in and checking us out.
Yeah.
And what a great time of the year to be celebrating our amazing group of people and enjoying the festivities together.
Another year of success.
Yeah.
The final question from the YouTube viewer. Would you guys ever make a bigger space for larger events like workshops? Oh, yes, that is definitely in the plans.
Yeah.
So that is one of the impetuses for rescuing the barn, not just because it's a beautiful building unto itself, but when we first came here, it was as exciting to us as the Chateau.
Yes.
Because of the possibilities. So the Steve studio is out there, or will be.
Yeah.
And one of the things we have the secretary chasing up, or next on her list, is how to get electricity connected back to it, because
there is a box in there, and there are some wires run, but we need to get it basically connected up to the mains. But that's once the roof is done and it's watertight, then we can start all the other planning for the barn. But that means that we'll have that amazing space to be able to do all kinds of things. It'd be great if we could actually move the workshops out there.
Yeah.
Then the Chateau becomes strictly for living in and enjoying and relaxing.
Yeah.
And then the workspace will be out in the barn, so they can sort of go out there and enjoy, and then close the doors and come in here and have lovely meals and great interactions. And I tell you, we have met amazing people through the retreat so far, and had so much fun getting to know everybody. And we look forward to that. It's the way I look at it is we get to be part of everybody's vacations, or their time away, and that's thrilling for us.
Yeah.
And we hope that they come away from the Chateau experience with new friends and great experiences. And we even have, there's WhatsApp groups that we've set up for some of the retreats, and we're still getting
they're still chatting back and forth. It's just adorable, and I love it.
It's awesome. We love it.
Yeah.
It's exactly what we wanted to do.
Yeah.
And the more that we can do of it, the better.
Polarity wants to know, how much lead time do I need to reserve a room for my husband and I, and maybe come without being part of a retreat? So we are not open as a B&B. We're not a chambre, we're not a B&B. However, we do have a friends and family rate.
Yeah.
So if it works out outside of our retreat timing, and I do need several days between retreats to turn the rooms over, so you can't sort of, if there's just 1 week between retreats, I'm afraid you can't come in that week.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's always worth a question. Basically email us through the website, and for the people that we love, the people that are part of our community, there might be a way.
Yeah, absolutely. We don't want to. We're just not interested in being a B&B if we can avoid it. It's certainly not something that we are saying no to forever. But if we can make the events work better, then that's the way we want to go.
Yeah.
But yes, if anybody is interested in coming to the Chateau, you're always welcome to come in for a cup of tea.
As long as there's not a retreat going on, we try to keep that as a little enclave. Yeah.
But if you do want to stay, reach out to us, and we'll chat and see if we can make it work. And if we can, then you're very welcome.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, this was great. Thank you, everyone, for coming out.
Yeah.
Hopefully, we can do this again in the future, now that we're working out some of the tech and know to put our mics on.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah.
We'll get better at this as we go. But very, very Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays to everybody. I hope your new year is awesome and spectacular, and 2024 brings you magic and joy.
Absolutely.
That's what we want to put out in the world. So yeah, love you guys. Thank you so much for being part of our community, and we'll see you next year.
Sounds good. Uh-oh. Now I have to figure out how to close it off.
I think I can do that one. Bye, guys. Thanks.
Bye,
so
everyone.
much.
Thank you.